This is an opinion-based podcast for adult ears only. Nothing should be construed as fact because, let's face it, we are not professionals.
It's your favorite girls, Ange and Meg, with Oh My God, Have You Heard? Where we share our opinions and gossip about current events and untouched topics, even though nobody asked.
So today we're talking about Sherri Papini. This is a case that was opened in 2016. She was 34 years old. It happened in California. She goes out running. She's claimed that she was abducted and then released. November 2nd, 2016, went for a run in California. Never picked up the kids from daycare. Husband called, tracked the phone, found the phone, saw her hair was tangled in the headphones. And then he was all sus from that.
Yup.
And I also heard that it was like right down the road, maybe a mile away. Where
he was running. There was like a...
She was running.
Or she was running.
Her phone was found. And then he took a picture of the phone before he picked it up.
And he wouldn't touch it. Yeah.
Which somebody was like, that's kind of weird, huh? And I'm like, not necessarily if you watch enough true crime. I'm not touching that until I know more as well. Because when I was listening to one of the different variations, it was like, that's not weird to me bit. I'm not touching anything, and I'm going to show you exactly how I found it. But anyway, so he picks it up. He does go back and calls the... Well, he must have called the daycare before that or something. Or
sure, because he wasn't home. And he was like, oh, she doesn't do shit. I don't think she had a job.
She went to Michael's that day. And she had craft stuff out.
Oh, and I forget she has children. Duh. That's a whole... Yeah. I mean, that's a whole freaking job in itself.
They were at daycare.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so she wasn't doing shit. She was going to Michael's.
She was running errands and running.
They were at daycare. Oh, gosh.
So anyways, he tracks the phone. The hair is tangled in the headphones. He's suspicious. 22 days later on Thanksgiving, Sherri was found 150 miles away on a rural road, bound and twisted by chains and a hose clamp fixed to her ankles, and beaten and bruised and branded on her shoulder. And
there was one claim that she was down to 87 pounds when they got her, and all of her hair was chopped off.
Yes. So I have that too, because on this other thing I was listening to or read, basically, we'll get into that too, because I just want to finish the storyline real quick, because
fair.
Then
Keep
we can
knowing.
Totally So then surveillance shows, this is all from True Crime Chronicles that I got. Surveillance video shows Sherri running frantically moments before she was found, which that video was terrible.
Like the quality of it? Yeah. I don't know if I must have, because I saw it on 2020.
So in the distance that I'm like, it could have been some Joe Schmo. Serious. I was like, how do you know that's Sherri?
Right.
That's just a person with a hoodie on.
Yeah.
To me, I was like, I was sus after that.
Yeah.
But anyways, Sherri claimed to be abducted, held up, captured, kidnapped at gunpoint by 2 Hispanic women. So they're out looking for people. The questions were why was she abducted? How did she escape? 4 years later, 2020, later on, going investigation found DNA on Sherri's clothes with POLAS. It's a special investigation thing that they did it for the Golden State killing.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say something about that today.
I forgot what it is exactly though. They go back and find.
Yeah, they're looking for familial DNA. So if they have a link, so they get your DNA and then they put it into whatever
system. If you're already in the system,
right? So then but they can find if your uncle, your brother was in there,
they do
and then they can,
they do,
which is terrifying in itself.
Right,
people don't do any crimes because they will get you.
Well, yeah, same with the IRS thing. I should always do your taxes.
Do your
correctly.
taxes. Yeah, so
they did
I didn't know
that.
that was the name of it, though. So that's good to know.
Cola something. Yeah, I don't know if I didn't finish writing it out because
That happens.
Just like sus. I'm like, what's sus? I'm just sus now. Okay, so anyways, it's new from the 90s. The challenge is if someone's DNA isn't in the system, it won't be able to be identified. Blah, 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 blah. Did she leave willingly or kidnapped? A few days prior, she was talking to a man in Michigan and texting him, but he was not involved. So he was cleared. The husband was cleared because obviously that's always the first suspect. Thoughts of human trafficking, bruised and battered hair was very short. Police say branded, but would not specify what kind of branding. Police said it was confidential. Police would not give too much as it's an open investigation with the branding and everything. Like if there was some sort of like sex traffic ring. Whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so then, what month did I say that was? Just 2020. So then this is Inside Edition, so who knows how, like...
Well, and I thought that spring of 2017 that they found that evidence of the DNA on her pants and in her underwear.
Okay, so I was just writing 2020 based on, like...
Sure.
So who knows where time
some way along the line
they found it.
Yeah, they were like, I don't believe you.
Yeah. Well, so then she made it. Then now, like Inside Edition the other day, or I don't know, 2022. Yeah, March. The other day it was saying like she made it all up.
Dun, dun,
like,
dun.
Yeah, and I'm all like, okay, give me the goods.
Give me the deets.
Arranged for an ex-boyfriend to pick her up while jogging and to drive her 600 miles to his house. Stayed at the ex's house while everyone was out looking for her. Ex-boyfriend said he drove to Hobby Lobby, bought a craft tool soldering iron to burn the wood. He went back, which I gotta just finish this and I'll go into the other pieces, because then he went back to the house to burn the word Exodus on her shoulder, which, what does Exodus mean?
Well, but why?
That's what I'm saying. What does it mean? Because I heard that so many freaking times, but Papini allegedly purposely hit her head on the bathtub and bathroom floor. So I go, like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah, no. In the article I read from People, which is the one I'll be referencing, like, quite a bit on this, she made her ex...
Yes.
Hit her with a hockey puck.
Hold on, I got
It's like, what? He goes, I did it really lightly, but like, who thinks about that shit?
No, listen. So I was listening to a different podcast about it, and there was like all this other stuff. He goes, well, she was like bruised and everything, but he goes, I didn't abuse her. The only thing I did do on accident was hit her with the hockey puck.
I don't know whether it was an accident. She was like, hit me.
Yeah, because I mean, with the bathtub and the bathroom floor. But can you imagine?
Psycho.
Like, her nose was like broken and all this stuff. So like,
I can't imagine doing that to myself.
I'd be like, I'm just kidding. I'm just gonna call quits here. Right. Like, I can't. I'm just gonna call it in. I call quits.
Well,
but anyways,
keep going.
Sorry. After 3 weeks, allegedly told her ex, I miss her children, and she's ready to go. He drove 7 hours and dropped her off 150 miles from home. Thank God when I was doing that, I was like, am I going to have to do the math and see how far this would be? And like, I never was good at those.
Yeah. If the train leaves the station it's going 70 miles.
I'm like, I don't know. Just, it gets there, okay? I don't know.
Who needs to know?
Like, I'll get there when I get there. Wear your seatbelt, buckle up. But anyways,
we're going fast.
I was just so thankful that they explained how far it was. Like, okay, good, 7 hours and 150 miles. And the ex was not charged.
Well, he hasn't been yet. Okay.
Well, and as far as the little bit extra that I was reading, but it was also like, I think he was really cooperating with the police because he was so afraid that...
Yeah, so maybe he will get like some immunity in that.
Yeah, like he didn't know. Like he said that she was like starving herself and like cut her hair and did all this stuff that like...
Well, he was like, I was hoping we would get in the article, that People article, which is, I'm just going to date, is March 10th of 2022 by Christine Pelisek. He was like, I was hoping we were going to have like a romantic relationship. So like he's already and wound up about that, thinking like, she wants to be with me again.
Backstory, the ex, exactly. So he had like dropped off stuff at her parents' house, and apparently like digging deeper. Like, they used to share an AOL account. They used to live in the parents' house, like, under the parents' name. Like, the parents bought them a house together.
The pepperoni, or what is her last name?
Papini.
I keep wanting to say pepperoni.
I know what you mean. But she, I guess, like...
Her parents' house, you're saying?
Well, like, but it was for them. I think she was married to him, is what I want to say. So I was like, wait, was she married? And then maybe she got married really young and then got divorced.
Sure,
And so
yeah.
anyways,
I'm not gonna hate on a girl for that.
Yeah, so then...
Shit happens.
More than me. And then, anyways.
Whole other episode.
It's not a small's violin here. Anyways. So she... Okay, so he was, like, living in the house. They must have been married, blah, blah, blah. And so he had dropped off stuff at her parents' house. She got it from her mom's, and that's how this all triggered. That she's, like, called him to say thank you, kind of reminisced. And then,
hey, can you steal me?
No, I think she didn't tell him really what was going on. It was more or less like,
pick me up on the corner a mile down from the road from my house.
Yeah, I don't know. And see, this is why this is opinion based, because this is how we have our conversation.
Yes, like duh.
I don't know. So yeah, he's been.
Well, they were communicating over prepaid phones, apparently.
Oh,
and they concocted a scheme to pick her up in Reading and driving her back to his 2-bedroom apartment in Costa Mesa.
I have a 2-bedroom apartment.
I know. He just like it could have said his place of residence, his house. I'm happy to know. Yeah.
2-bedroom apartment.
So it's got a view of the parking lot.
No, it's no underground parking. I gotta brush my snow off. Oh, they don't have snow off.
Nope.
But anyways, the statement.
Bank a puck at my leg, she said. So he shot a puck off her leg lightly. Okay.
Lightly.
Gosh.
Okay, the statement accused police for... okay. So then, like, when she came back, she did try to, like... When she got back home, she tried to cooperate with the police.
I feel like in the 2020... and I don't know the air date on that, but like, I feel like her, because they didn't interview her, it was just her husband, and I feel like he also said something about her face, like
it was bruised
or like cut, and I know like she was branded. I get that.
You're gonna get cut if you smash your face against the
True.
bathtub or the floor.
That he was like she was, and maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
I mean, she could have been like going against the corner of a wall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She does show tendencies of mental health issues.
Yeah.
That if you can hurt yourself like that, I mean...
I guess the other thing, too, is, like, well, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know why. Like, I don't feel like there's a lot of...
still trying to figure out, because I think it's still open, technically.
Have you ever seen the movie Gone Girl?
No, but that's what I
recently watched it. I never had.
It's always on my list.
I know, and I was just like, it's kind of crazy.
Because doesn't she like abduct herself or something and do like this whole ransom?
She does basically all of this stuff. And Ben Affleck is like, and then it goes through how she, it goes through how she like
did it all,
and to make it look like he was guilty, like everything.
To be honest, nowadays
that's terrifying. You can't even trust your own wife or husband because
that is super terrifying. I'm going into the whole like the way that they do IDTV or forensic files.
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys shouldn't show so much because there's you and I sitting on the couch watching IDTV. Why didn't they use the luminol? Why failed right there? You know, like
wear the gloves, folks.
Yeah, you know, like
don't touch the rear view mirror without a glove on, because to like adjust before you drive off in the stolen car.
Don't give them
because exactly. Oh, sure.
Just kidding. Just scratch that. Touch it all up.
And it's just so like it's crazy now, because I also think too, like one of the main sheriffs, I forget his name.
Was he on the case from the beginning?
Yeah, okay. And so he was like, I'm gonna look for his name. He was like, do you know how many like we were terrified because we thought this beautiful blonde woman, a mother of the year, super mom.
Yeah, that's what like the husband kept saying. Yeah. Like, she's just the best ever.
Okay, Captain Brian Jackson. He's the Shasta County Sheriff's Officer, or with the Shasta County Sheriff Office. He was the lead detective, and he's like, do you know how much manpower and money and
and she got money for being like
the victim money.
I was like, and they paid off. They had said like she bought curtains, paid off debt, that did this, did that, and I'm just like, well, the IRS is going to be after. Well,
and the GoFundMe was like over 50. It was $50,000 or $49,000.
They started that like right away, and then they like took money out of it right away. And like I don't know. I guess like somebody kind of made a good point that was like, wouldn't you want to? And I don't know what right away kind of meant, but like, wouldn't you want to figure things out and like get established more before you kind of start like
then like I get what you're saying, like, but do you even think that she even thought that like that there would be money involved?
Sure.
I wonder, and that's why I think the whole thing is so weird.
I wouldn't have known. I didn't know.
Like you needed a vacation to like beat yourself up.
Let's go get a job.
Yeah. Like I don't
she really
get it.
Went out of her way to get some money for Or like,
but I don't know if she even. I mean, I don't know if money was the motivation.
I see what you're saying. Just needing maybe a mental breakdown or something.
Well, clearly.
Or maybe she wanted to run away with the boyfriend and was holding him captive, and he didn't know that she wanted to be back with him. And she's like, "Well,
hit me with the puck, hockey puck."
It's a love-hate relationship.
He thought he was going to get lucky, and obviously he did because they found his DNA in her underwear. So. But I love...
What it was on her shirt.
Pants and underwear.
Oh.
And I love how what her description was when she like was giving the cops the description of her captor. Again, this is from that People article. Mm-hmm. She described the older woman as really mean, quote unquote. Yeah, with breath that smelled like sweetened coffee. She said she spent most of her captivity chained in a room with boarded up windows, and that the women played really loud music. And yet, none of the things she remembered helped authorities track her alleged abductors.
Well, right. Like, why was she abducted, and how did she get away, and like did she ever even get into like how she got away? Usually people have like that's kind of like I had to wait. I know. Like I think those girls that were in the house.
Yeah.
Like
the
like,
Castillo. Yeah.
Castillo and the four. There's three.
I think there's three.
Three for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Castillo.
Like they know how they did it.
Alvarez Castillo, is that his name? Well, okay, never mind. Doesn't matter. We know what we're talking.
Right? Yeah. And
got off easy.
Well, didn't he die?
He hung himself.
Oh yeah, jerk.
Jork is right.
Kind of how I feel about like the whole Putin thing. I'm like, dead or alive,
let's get him.
But anyways, like with that case, like the girls were very aware of what they had to do and go through to be like. That should be your number one, like...
How am I going to get out of this?
Well, how did I get out of it? Whereas, like, in the moment, like, you might not remember, like, details of, like, I was running and then all of a sudden it was just ambush. You might not remember details for, like, the next... What happens within
Well, she had coffee, sweetened coffee breath.
Will you blow your breath out?
Instead of a lineup, it's like, please blow your... It's number three. It's number three.
We're all going to need you to put a little sweet and low in your coffee and then blow on her face. That'd be so freaking
gross.
Yeah, gross for sure. But I don't know. That it's just really sus to me, and I'm just really...
Agreed.
I'm interested because I didn't even know about this case until you kind of brought it up the other day that I was like, oh.
Because I remember, you know me in the 2020, ABC 2020 Dateline.
Oh, yeah.
I was so like, I guess I had like been kind of reading it, and maybe because I'm pretty sure my mom had had a subscription to People back in the day, like 2016.
Oh, yeah.
And so I remember, and so, but then I just realized or found out or saw, however you want to say it, that they were like finally charging her. Because I was like, after that 2020 episode, I was like, oh, hell no. I know, I'm going to look.
Too.
I'm going to look actually right as we're talking. I was like, yep, that's us for sure.
For sure.
What the hell's, okay, excuse me, Sherri...
Papini.
I-N-I. Okay, so the 2020 was December, no. I don't know when it was. It wasn't in 2016. It was more recent.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I can't give you that info. Sorry about that, folks.
Oh, that's okay. It just makes me think of like all these like it's so crappy of like her to plan her own. It makes me think of the girl. Remember the girl in Madison?
Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, that like kid. Oh god.
Yeah. What was her name?
I don't remember.
They found her in the swamp.
Yeah, right over yonder. That was like probably 2 miles from here.
Oh yeah,
and, but like she was like off of John Nolan, like in the area, like across from the Coliseum.
Yep.
That was like. There was nothing over there. Like
What
right
was
on
her
the
name?
up-ramp or the ramp, right?
She was like in the swamp when they found her. Like in the
and
reeds.
she was completely fine, right?
Yeah, she tried to say she was abducted.
From college.
Yeah, because remember...
What year was that?
I have no idea. I forget her freaking name, too. She lived at, like, the housing behind camp... Or, like, right next to Camp Randall.
Yeah,
where, like, all...
Dorms, though, right?
Right, but it was for... But, like, you could live there if you went to UW.
Was it one of the subway downstairs?
Yeah. Or you could, like, if you...
On Regent.
If you went to, what the heck, Edgewood College. So, like, anybody who was a student could...
Street, like, apartments or something.
Yeah.
Or dorms or something like that, I remember.
You just had to be a student. And, yeah, so I was... So... And obviously, there's cameras everywhere.
Right.
Like, there's literally cameras everywhere. And they totally watched her walk out.
And she was, like, pacing before...
Yeah.
She was, like, pacing before going out the door.
Gosh, what the heck was her name?
I don't know if we can't get in trouble for that, right? It's public.
It's public knowledge.
Yeah.
If I can Google it.
It's public. I just remember she had like short dark hair and Brittany or
well, because remember there was a couple of like homicides and like
that was the Brittany Zimmerman.
Yep, and then remember the girl. there was an unfortunate amount of
abductions at that time
and just killings here, and it's hard to get what the
hometown.
Audrey Sealer?
Yes.
They did like an IDTV thing on her too. I remember. Really? Yeah.
Oh my god. I keep thinking like Gabby Petito. She keeps popping in my head.
Yeah.
Like, well, just like the abduction things, like these people that want to fake their abduction.
I just don't know. How do you get there?
Mentally, like why, or like what are you in need of that much attention? Was like the girl Papini, was she needing a break? But then there's a tension behind it because you're spending so much time on like
hurting yourself and having somebody else hurt you for 22 days, 87 pounds.
Leave your phone behind. Like there's something dramatic.
Yeah.
About, attention. But like, I mean, I remember going to school with a girl and just like the drama that she would self-inflict.
Sure.
That like for attention in a sense that like I don't know. Like, I think there's definitely something there that, like, you need attention, but, like, are you not getting it? I don't know. I don't have the answers. I'm not a doctor.
Well, and she could have easily not have come back, though. I think that's the part that I think is, oh, okay, now I miss my kids. I guess I'll go back. And, like, that, which I can understand. Mm-hmm. But, like, what was your plan to begin with all along? Were you always going to come back? Were you always planning on...
She could have not had a plan like how I didn't to be that.
It just happens.
I don't know.
We're just going to roll with it.
We're just going to roll with it.
And then, I mean, she's getting charged with mail fraud, which I'm not
So that was because of the GoFundMe. And the mail fraud is, like... taking the money from like the government
and like the victim thing.
Yeah, so that was that.
I wonder if well, I would assume that's like a federal offense. I mean, like you're not going.
The government is giving it, anything the government gets you is all of it's federal.
So she's
gonna be spending some time in prison.
I would sure hope so.
Yeah,
though she'll get that break she really wanted, I guess.
There's some books.
Yeah.
I don't know. I shouldn't laugh.
I just don't understand it at all. It's ridiculous.
I don't know either. I just feel like, holy cow.
Well,
and then to think like the people that actually needed the help and like actually are missing.
Yeah.
And actually aren't just like playing games and like wasting people's time.
And money and effort. Yeah. And it's just crazy.
The IRS is so big on, well, I don't know that it's going to be called the IRS that will be after her, but the government, they don't mess around. If you miss a payment, like I think she got out on a
$120,000 bond. So if you go to like a bail bondsman, it's going to be dog should have found her. I mean, you're going to have to pay a portion of that anyways.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a cash bond.
Right, but typically you get it all back if you make it to court.
If you go to court, well, the bail bondsman gets it back.
Right.
The whatever you,
But you
however,
still owe
I don't
that
know.
then? I don't know how, because I've never been to prison.
I don't know either. I've never had a cash bond, I'll tell you that.
Dead or alive.
Dead or alive.
Well, no, I don't know.
Audrey Sealer, that was her name.
Yeah.
I guess I think that the most interesting thing that I hope comes out of a trial of some sort, she's going to get that attention she wants, but really is like, why? Like, what's the reasoning behind it?
Well, she's clearly going to have to get like a psych evaluation.
Yeah.
You know, because it just makes no sense. Like,
And I guess I think that that's what I think is kind of interesting about the case in itself is like that wondering why would you do this?
Yeah. And I think she was, and I could be getting information mixed up, but I thought she said something about like, my husband was beating me, but then like...
That's what she told the boyfriend.
Yeah.
And did you say he did not... he didn't... I don't know. I just... based on like what I saw from especially like that 2020 interview, like I'm not saying that the nicest man in the world couldn't beat you, but he certainly did not kind of like fit that, and there was never any police contact. Like, there was never
pretty innocent
yeah. And he still thinks that's the funny thing is he's still by her side, even though she got charged and they're still together.
Maybe so they did decide to get together.
Who? Not the boyfriend, the husband.
Oh, sorry.
He's still standing next to her, and it's like, okay, her ex-boyfriend's DNA was found in her underwear. What do you think happened? Come on. I mean, to each his own. I mean, come on.
I can't. I'm so stupid. Okay.
Oh God. But I think that's going to be the most interesting part.
He obviously also had a lot of good things to say, like Mother of the Year and like.
That's why she hasn't publicly said that she was in any danger. That's what she told the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend,
that she was in danger with the husband.
Yes, but like she hasn't said that anywhere else, so that's why I think that's why this case I think is kind of like grabbed me, and I've been following it here and there.
We'll have to maybe do a part 2.
When she gets the axe, dun dun dun.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that I think is an interesting piece to.
Well, she's like kind of. To go forward with, I understand what you're saying. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just thinking there was one last part when she did come back that I guess the police just came in and arrested her, and she was all
at her daughter's piano recital or something, or piano lesson.
I didn't hear that. I thought it was just in the house in front of the kids. And so there was a big deal about oh my God, that's hilarious. I would be so nosy. I'd be like, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, duh.
What's going on with Sherri Papini? Poor child.
Hold on, I'm trying to find out what it
basically,
said.
she was all super upset the fact that the police did too much in front of the kids, and it's traumatizing. It's well, think about things before you do things. I'm not going to go rob a bank and then come home and have my kids that I, first of all, don't have kids, but if I did,
well, I would hope they'd be in daycare. Sorry. Okay. Yes. I agree.
Right. That I'm not being single and no kids. I'm not going to leave my cats behind.
Right. Right. Ain't happening.
Even if I didn't even have pets, I'm not going to do that because I like my freedom. I'm not.
It's a big deal.
You don't know what flip of the coin or what.
You were never going to get away with it.
No, you
with
won't.
It.
You won't.
I mean, you
will always be found, and that's one thing that was drilled into my head as a child. It was my dad constantly, you are going to get in trouble. You see your friends doing something wrong, and you know it's wrong. Leave.
Walk away.
You're gonna get in trouble just for being there, or you're gonna constantly, or you could just be getting in trouble, go to jail just for guilty by association.
Yeah.
All that shit. And
a lot of time and effort went into this, and that's why I think it's so much different.
But I don't think she did it really well.
Oh God, no, I don't think so either.
It wasn't it was super premeditated.
True,
it was really
true.
It's almost thinking about it. I'm upset. I want to leave. I want to leave.
Oh, we don't know if she was upset.
Well, she's
Okay, so she had this crazy.
She's something. She had him.
She's something.
I meant like manic. Or,
yeah, I don't know.
Or some sort of.
She has a mental break.
Yes, break. And sorry, I don't know what the proper. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful either. Like I do want to. Like,
clearly, something is going on.
Wrong. Yeah. Yes, and I
think part of she does have to have a psych eval. I think
she has to. There's no way that she wouldn't. She faked her abduction.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Wait, that's what we're talking about?
What was talking about?
Yeah, it's a really just unfortunate situation for her family, all the people who, and clearly if, you know, and it's also sad for her too.
For sure.
If there is something underlying where she does need that help.
For sure, 100%.
I hope she can get that. And I know that that's not always the case when people are incarcerated, where they don't get that proper, like, mental health, support.
Sure.
But, I mean, girl's crazy.
Yeah.
So I hope she can, but bottom line, darn it, I want to know why she did it.
Yeah.
And if she tells me she needs a break, I'm going to be pissed.
We all need a break.
Yeah. Go out into the car, scream in the car, in the back of the van. I'm sure they had a minivan.
Now I think there's a room, at least here in Madison, those break rooms that you can break stuff. Like,
oh yeah, that's fantastic.
I want to do that so freaking bad. I want to just go in. Well, I'm not mad enough right now, but like there's been a few times like where I'm just like, you know what I usually do? I go to the driving range.
Yeah.
And I'm like, every time I'm there, I'm like, and this is for and it just flies. And I'm like, yes. And then I'm like, somebody's going to pick me up for their golf team. Like, seriously, I could probably go pro. But I'd have to be like a...
I could go pro at the Vitens golf course.
Hey, it would have to be like a Happy Madison, or what is Happy? That was his name, right?
Yeah.
Billy Madison's Happy Madison?
No, it's Happy Gilmore.
Oh. Happy. What the fuck? No, I just couldn't think of it. Like, yeah. And... But like, you know how he had like the
run
and then the hockey stick. Like, I think I could do a golf club, but
well, hey, and if Sherri decides to go missing again, I know somebody then who can hit her with her next puck.
Don't say that. Not me. I'm sure there's.
Well, sounds like you're good.
No, any part of that, I'll be.
Oh God! So
anyways,
it'll definitely be interesting to see it, like how this kind of unfolds.
A part two.
A part two when she goes to trial and with the sentencing, it'll be interesting. Maybe we'll get some more info. So thanks for listening, everybody.
We'll keep you posted.
All right.